Yeah, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right. There we go. I would love to have heard Dave Fleming's walk-off call tonight. Somebody in the chat said it gave them chills hearing it. Let me see. Where was that? I just saw it.
I know his call during, what was it, 2021 with the Yaz walk-off? That was an epic call by Fleming. Look, it might be on there somewhere. Maybe their Twitter.
I wish I could hear it, but yeah, that would be awesome. But Lamont is a friend of the show.
It's Lamont Wade Jr. of the San Francisco Giants, and you're listening to Dan on the NorCal Sports Network.
That's right. Hey, speaking of Dave Fleming, Eric, Dave Fleming is a friend of the show, and he's got something to say too. For some of you guys that are new to the channel, that are in here maybe from the first time, hit that subscribe button, and let's hear from Dave Fleming.
Hold on 1 second. Let me bring it back up here in a minute.
You gotta leave. Yeah. All right. So Dave, I was hoping to have that timed a little better. I thought you had it up and still up.
Nope. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Actually, I gotta do with the damn. Hey, check out the green room there, Dan.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Hi, everybody. It's Dave Fleming with the Giants. We're here in beautiful Scottsdale. Just want to encourage you to check out Dan on the NorCal Sports Network. It's worth your time.
All right. And now we bringing him back. Here he is. Let's get his music ready. You got his music ready? He needs an intro.
Go for it.
Here he is. The man.
All right.
He's back.
I'm back.
Nice.
Hold on one second.
Okay. Are we on the are we trying to do a simulcast maybe here?
I think we're on it, aren't we?
I don't know.
Oh, he's muted. Or maybe he's got it muted.
Are we on the I think he's on the channel. I think he's on his channel. I see you on your channel, Larry.
It shows muted here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Are we doing a double header here, huh?
Yeah, we got it. We got a simulcast. I think you're on your channel.
We're both.
We're on both channels. So
look at
that. Are we controlling the board, or can you control your board, or are we running?
Let me see here. Now you're controlling the board.
All right. Let's give Larry a cheer again. Let's hear it for the great Larry Krueger. He's mastered the technical.
And you can donate even. You can even donate. Look at that.
You can donate to Larry's channel. We're a little short. We need about 75 more. We need
that's
75
right. You can't do
more.
super chats. But if you want a super chat, you can super chat. But Danny will have to call it up.
Yeah. It'll go on. So we're only about 75 subs away from able to be eligible for super chats.
There you go.
So YouTube just lowered it from 1,000 to 500, and we're about 425 right now.
Awesome.
We actually picked up like 35 subscribers over the weekend from the Dodger series. So yes. So
Will Martinez is asking if I'm a top 5 sports talk host in the Bay Area of all time. I don't know about that.
Krug,
longevity wise, yeah. Larry's up there.
It's got to have G-Rad, right? Come on, G-Rad's got to be one. Got to be one of those.
You know, first guy I think I remember listening to
Ralph's got to be one of those.
Sports talk radio. You guys remember Scotty Sterling? This is way back.
The late Scotty Sterling was good personal friend of mine.
Yeah, I love Scotty Sterling. Didn't he do something with the Raiders? Wasn't he involved with the Raiders?
He was the Kings general manager for our super scout with the Kings.
That's what it was. Yeah, Scotty Sterling. Yeah, he was a GM or something like that. Yeah.
As opposed to the great Scott Farrell.
Hey, everybody, Scotty Burrell. Let's go. Pour me a cold one. How you doing there, Coach Burrell? Yeah, great, Larry. This is Scotty Burrell. You're on Scotty Burrell.
Is that a shtick or is that how he really talks?
No, that's the way, that's the way he talked.
Wow.
Scotty. Scotty Burrell.
Scotty and Ralph should have did a show together. Talk about.
Oh, that would have been
both of their
awesome.
voices.
Larry, can you do it? Can you just do them both? Well,
Craig, it's so cute. You get so angry at the Giants, and you're ripping Lamont Wade, and you're ripping Mike Yastrzemski, and at the end of the day, all I want is my. The Ralph, on the other hand, Brian, what do you think of Saltalamacchia? Is it possible you guys could trade for Saltalamacchia? And then Saves comes back with, Ralph, why, Ralph? Just awesome.
hey, look at that.
I always like Saltalamacchia.
Hey,
Larry, were
Mark
you old
Graves.
enough to remember Candido?
Candido.
Larry, were you old enough to remember?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Were you old
Candido. I used to sit on my bed and listen to Candido. And I'll give you a little Candido story.
That's where I started.
Candido went to SH and my dad went to SI. And they both were they were playing in the North Beach playground one time. And my dad got into a fight with Candido when they were kids.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's funny. My dad.
Candido went to. I didn't know he was a fighting.
My dad
Irish.
actually did
Wow,
some
I should
boxing. My dad actually boxed a little bit. So I don't know. I never had the
guessing
nerve
he
to go
won
up to
that one.
Candido and really talk to him about it. But yeah, supposedly Candido and my dad mixed it up on the playground one day.
That's hilarious. Hey, look at on your
That
channel
was my
here.
first.
You got Mark Graves in the 11 months, member for 11 months. He's on first base. I guess after a year, he might move to second base.
Let me see that. Maybe I'll have to go. Can I go look through my phone? Maybe.
I guess so. Yeah, it was just on my phone. So Mark's on first base with you.
Let me see this.
11 months.
Spencer
He might.
Stewart, go Irish.
Go Irish. SH, your phony. We got the Bruce Mahoney.
Somebody put up Sacred Heart Irish team, so I had to give him a shout.
There you go.
always,
Spencer Stewart.
have the
Spencer
Bruce
Stewart. There you go. It's got to be Spencer Stewart.
We had the
How
Bruce
about Patrick
Mahoney when I
Sheehan
was there.
says, "Well, they didn't." Well, okay, there you go. Patrick Sheehan says Trent Baalke's a joke. Trent and Baalke is a joke.
That Trent. Yeah. That's. So Brian Iglesias says Tolbert is on that list. Let's do top 5 here real quick. Let's run through the top 5.
Sports talk show
Are we
host.
talking
in the Bay.
about? Are we just
area.
talking sports talk or
Yeah, sports talk. Sports talk.
any host? Okay, sports talk.
Sports
Okay.
talk. Yeah. So
Okay, I'll put mine together.
Woo!
I'll go Ratty, Tommy, Ralph. After that,
I don't write this.
those are the guys. I mean, where do you put the king? Where do you put Pete? Where do you put
Pete
Pharrell?
Franklin?
Where do you
Franklin.
put Fitz? What about Frank Dill, Mike Clary? Those guys those guys weren't really sports
Were
talk
they
show.
were they sports guys?
Well,
Yeah, I
not
love Frank
really.
Dill, but
No,
was he-
Frank Dill,
Yeah, that's what I was asking. It was
Ray
sports.
Woodson. There you go, Ray Woodson.
Ray Woodson was on there for a while at night.
Frank Dill had a great laugh. He had a great
Frank
laugh.
Dill was a great guy too. Terrific guy. Loved to play golf. But yeah, I would say I'd probably go Tommy, Ralph, Tolbert, and Pete. That would be my those would be my top 4. That would be my Mount Rushmore of Bay
So
Area sports talk.
Larry,
I
got a
like the
question
top
about
3.
Ratnage. Did he purposely like enjoy cutting people off the radio? Because he did it a lot.
No,
I'm just curious.
You know, he used to say, you know, one of my favorite Gary lines. I'm doing a show with him one time, and some caller was just fucking boring as hell, right? Just really, really boring. And I forget the guy's name was Mike or something. He's like, Mike, and the guy's like, yeah, Gary. He's like, if your livelihood relied on the quality of this conversation, would you keep yourself on? And he's like, probably not, Gary. He's like, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh, gosh.
It's so awesome. So awesome. I just talked to Radney the other day.
Awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
He's doing
How's
good.
he doing?
He's doing good. No, he's doing good. He's doing good. He's got 3 kids. He's all into his kids. His boys playing basketball for Stewart Hall High, where I went to Stewart Hall Grammar School, but now Stewart Hall is a high school. And Spence plays for them, so that's good to hear. Mark Graves, bye, Salinas. Yeah, I went to Stewart Hall Grammar School. His kid's going to Stewart Hall High School now. There's a Stewart Hall High School.
How come you didn't go to Holy Name?
Well, I wouldn't know I should have gone if I was going to I'm a St. Gabe's. I would have gone to St. Gabe's. My parents were just smart.
Yeah.
They said, you know what? Stewart Hall's better than St. Gabe's.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not. My mom was big on education.
Hey, I did my.
I'm sure you remember the old Polly Ann's ice cream on Noriega.
Can I tell you my Polly Ann story?
Please.
I have a Polly Ann story. Okay, for Danny, Danny doesn't know the Sunset, but the outer Sunset, there was an ice cream parlor. It was kind of like a candy store ice cream parlor. It was called Polly Ann's Ice Cream. Me and my sister go there on Saturday. Yeah, close to West Sunset, outer Sunset, like Noriega and what was it? What was Noriega and what?
38th.
38th and Noriega. We lived on 35th and Rivera. And it was alphabetical. So we drive our bikes down to Polly Ann's Ice Cream. We're in there getting an ice cream cone, and a couple of WPODs, which we called that. You know what WPOD stands for, right? They used to spray WPOD everywhere in the Sunset. It was stood for White Punks on Dope. All right, so a couple of punks, like high school punks, steal our bicycles, right? While we're getting an ice cream cone. And it was like a Saturday afternoon. I'll never forget this. Come out and we wear our bikes. We look around the corner and these 2 guys are running down the 38th Avenue with our bikes, like laughing and running, right? And my sister's crying. I'm like, don't cry. We go back into the store, and the guy who runs Polly Ann's is like, why is she crying? Why is your sister crying? And I go, those kids just stole our bicycles. And the guy who delivered the sodas to Polly Ann's says, where'd they go? I said, they ran around the corner and they took off. Well, we just walked back home because we didn't think anything of it. This guy got in his truck, his soda truck, and tracked these guys down and got our bikes back. And and my parents made us put a little metal thing that had our address on the bike, little placard, little metal placard. And sure enough, we're at home for like 20 minutes. We're telling my mom and dad, yeah, these guys stole our bikes. And my sister's still crying. It's like the worst thing she could ever think of. And doorbell rings, and it's this guy with a gigantic Coke truck out front. And he's like, is this the Krueger residence? We're like, yeah. Like, yeah, I have a couple of your bicycles here. And my dad goes, what? So we all go downstairs, and he's like, yeah, a couple teenage punks I ran it down for you and got the bikes, and it was like the guy was our hero, right?
That's
It was
awesome.
it was incredible, great
That's
great
awesome.
moment.
What ice cream place
That's
was that at?
awesome.
Polly Ann's ice cream.
Polly Ann.
Polly Ann's.
If you didn't know what you wanted, they had a little wheel that you would spin, and you had to order whatever it landed on.
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
know.
and
I
Lou
don't know.
Marston in the chat says, Larry, on Thursdays, only Herb's Deli on Terraville, meatball sandwiches. So there we used to play, I
yes.
played football for SI. We would go 2-a-days, literally 2-a-day practices. And we'd walk over to 7-Eleven, get like a big gulp, and then we'd go to Herb's.
Yeah.
Go to Herb's, and this old man Herb would make you the sandwich. It was right next to Sherba's. Remember Sherba's right there? And he used to make, and Thursdays they would do meatball sandwiches, and they were so freaking popular. People would come from all over the place for Herb's meatball sandwiches.
My aunt and uncle lived off of I can't remember, Hyde Street, I think it was.
Yeah.
Right near pretty close to Lombard. And
By
just
Swenson's,
right by
ice cream.
Swenson's. We used to go over to Swenson's all the time. My aunt and uncle's house, the outside was filmed for McMillan and wife used the outside of their house.
It's Russian Hill, baby.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's a nice area right there.
Yeah, so I used to stay over there a lot, but I don't do ice cream anymore. Can't do it. Can't do ice cream.
Patrick, I distinctly remember who you're talking about. It's foggy, but I do remember some referee named Benny. Larry, does that ring a bell?
Who did WCAL basketball? Is that what we're talking about?
I think he did basketball. Yeah, he wasn't.
The great Leo LaRocca, who was the SI AD. I mean, I remember, he used to have the SI used to play the Sand Dune Classic all the time. My brother was the basketball manager, and he would pay the refs. I mean, somebody had to pay the refs. I mean, pay them off or anything. He didn't buy them or anything. But I used to meet them after the Sand Dune Classic. They'd come and get their money. But I don't remember. I know there was a bunch of refs. They were the same guys year after year doing SI, Reardon, SH. They even did AAA games. Most of those guys.
I was on the job one day as a basketball referee. My one game was at St. Emilius, very intimidating setting, and that was it for my career. Because
St. Emilius off Ocean Ave.
If you didn't make a call for the home team, it was not good. Like,
I mean, seriously, I could talk for hours about the different Bay Area gyms.
I know.
How about Mission Dolores?
We don't want to lose you again, man.
The Mission Dolores gym with the burnt Mama Celeste pizzas. You could smell the burnt pizza and the Mama Celeste pizza, the frozen pizzas. And I'll tell you, one day I had a huge game at what was that? The gym in the Epiphany. In the Excelsior.
The walls were out of bounds.
You could literally touch the wall. It was like playing indoor soccer or something.
Eric, I'm not kidding. The walls were out of bounds. That's where the out of bounds line was on that basketball court.
Wow.
In the fifth grade,
that was our rival at Holy Name.
In the fifth grade, I scored 25 points in a game. 23 for our side and 2 for the other side. It was a jump ball, and I was going the wrong way. It was a jump ball. They
Larry.
And I'm like, I'm taking off. I'm like, I'm wide open, baby. I'm going for the layup.
It's Jim Marshall, and he's running
it
the wrong way.
I made it for Epiphany.
You're lazy,
remember they had
Larry,
you're fucking crazy. You're lazy. No, they had a little, like maybe 10 people could watch underneath the bucket. That was it. Remember that?
Oh God.
Epiphany.
That's
Actually, Brian Iglesias says WCAL best conference in California. Brian, where'd you go? Where are you from, punk? No, that was Gary's line.
He sounds like a Sarah guy.
Yeah.
Rim.
G Martinez says, Larry, you scored on the wrong hoop. Yeah. Seriously, I scored on the wrong hoop. I remember my dad came home. He's like, honey, Larry had 25 today. She's like, 25 was the 5th grade. She's like, yeah, he had 23 for us and he had 2 for them. I never lived that down.
I hope you didn't lose by 2.
I actually don't remember if we won or lost.
Oh man,
that's bad though. It's not good to score for the other team.
Larry, I know football's a big part of your show with the Niners and everything, but what is it about baseball that always brings the stories in 3, 4, 5 hours? Seems like nothing. What is it about baseball? It's just, I don't know.
Best,
to me, baseball is like baseball's our wives and football is like our mistresses. Baseball is an everyday up and down, good and bad.
Well, because and when
it's good,
is like,
man, it's really good.
Football's not a laughing matter. We can laugh. You notice how we're laughing on this show. We're loose. We're having a good time. If this were football, there'd be somebody arguing about something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Doesn't it seem like that? Death. Football's as serious as a heart attack. Baseball is like, hey, let's just have a little fun because they play 162.
What's his name? Carlin. Yeah, he had a great description between baseball and football in his stand-up.
Yeah, it's the best. Baseball, everybody runs home. You run home where you're safe at home. Football's on a gridiron. Baseball, it's like, that is a great comedy routine.
Oh, it's great.
George Carlin, baseball versus football.
Yeah, it encompasses exactly what it's about.
Lou Marson says WCAL and rocking Kezar Pavilion. Kezar was a pretty sweet place too, by the way. If I can remember as a little kid watching SI and SH or SI and Reardon at Kezar, and you felt like you were watching like it was it was almost, you felt like you were at like Madison Square Garden. I mean, it was just, the floor used to shake and the place was dark, but the floor was lit up. There were some great battles there, man. Great battles.
Speaking of, in honor of Larry,
they had the summer pro-am there every summer too.
Yeah, with Gary Payton and Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, in honor of Larry.
Danny, did you ever live in?
No, I never. I lived in the East Bay in Concord. Grew up in Concord.
You never lived in the
city? In honor of
he's mean streets of Concord.
Yeah, in honor of Larry scoring at the wrong bucket, we've got something here for you.
Is this Lon?
Kilmer driving for the first down, losing the football. It's picked up by Jim Marshall.
Oh,
into the end zone the wrong way, thinks he scored a touchdown. He scored a safety.
Oh my God!
Oh, isn't that great?
The great Lon Simmons on the call there.
Yes. Speaking of Lon, he's on my Mount Rushmore of Bay Area announcers. I've got 4, and they are Lon Simmons, Bill King, and Lon Simmons, Bill King, and I'm going to go.
If you go Ron Fairley, we're going to fight.
Yeah, Ron Fairley. Hello, everybody. This is Lindsey Nelson along with Hank Greenwald. Welcome to San Francisco Giants baseball. Gosh,
Lindsey Nelson was so bad.
Oh, he was the worst.
Oh, I hated him.
Worst. Okay,
he was a major name. He was a big name.
Yeah, I'm going to go with.
He had an annoying voice.
I'm going with Bill King, Lon Simmons, Hank Greenwald, and my 5th guy is either Kipe or Joe Starkey. I love Joe Starkey with Cal and with the Seals, and he did the Niners for a while. Joe was great.
Don Klein. I'll go with. Klein. See, here's my 4. I'm going Bill King.
Yep.
Lon Simmons.
Yep.
Sure.
Hank Greenwald.
Yep. There's 3.
Wayne Walker.
Wayne Walker, Channel 5. Yeah.
Wayne Walker.
Handlebar mustache. Great
That's
mustache.
A good one.
Wayne Walker was good. I love.
Supposedly Wayne Walker used to go to La Barca on Lombard Street. They'd pour him a drink.
Was great too.
They'd pour him a drink. He'd go do the sports. He'd come back and finish the drink. Because I guess the studio wasn't that far from there. Remember La Barca, the Mexican restaurant on Lombard?
Yeah.
Great spot.
I used to love Wayne Walker's interviews with Bill Walsh every week. I would not miss that, man.
You know, it was the best thing that Wayne did. I mean, not the best, but it was fun. Do you remember the preview show with when he would make predictions, when he would throw that Velcro ball at the board? He'd be like, well, the Lions take on the Eagles on Sunday, and let's see who's going to win. He'd throw it, and he would just, they'd cut away to it. The thing would land on it, said Lions, and be like, we'll go with the Lions. I mean, it was just an epic. It was so funny looking. It was awesome. I love those days. Sometimes when I see Joe Fonzie down at the Niners, we'll start talking about those Wayne Walker days.
Joe Fonzie's actually related in my family somehow.
Joe Fonzie's a great guy, by the way. Went to Chico.
My mom knew him really well, but
Joe's really damn good. I mean, I think Joe's one of my favorites as well.
I got the same guys as you for announcers. I have a heart, man. Hank Greenwald, I love, but God, I love Greg Papa too, because I like the diversity, being able to do. If you could do all three sports, to me, that's like you're a three-tool announcer. If you could do football, baseball, and basketball.
Well, so the ironic part about Papa's career, he's best on the Warriors. His best thing was the Warriors.
I agree.
I mean,
I like.
Remember that? Who was that one where he's like, and he jams it over David Robinson? I forget who it was that night, but Greg was the incredible Warrior announcer, just incredible.
Yeah. I like King as a basketball announcer too.
Will Martinez says no love for Joe Angel.
He was
put that in the win column. No Joe Angel. How about Gary Park, the tannest man in television? You guys remember Gary Park?
Gary Park. Interviewing Will Clark after
Gary Park,
the series in '87, having to tell him to tone it down because he's swearing. It's been a long fucking time since I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, it was like a year and a half. He'd been waiting like a year and a half.
Yeah, exactly. That was
what's the worst is they bumped Gary Park. You're right. They bumped Gary Park in '88 for Steve Physiak, who's a truly nice man. But, I mean, there was no history there with Steve Physiak. And the Giants beat the Padres. And he's like, and the fly ball to left field. And, whoever. And Jeffrey Leonard catches it. And let the celebration begin. It was like, oh, my God, that was the worst clinching call of all time, Steve Physiak. Good guy, though.
That would be a good question is in Bay Area history, what are some of the great radio calls or any call, TV or radio? I mean, just legendary.
Oh, there's no doubt. It's Hank Greenwald. 27 years of waiting have come to an end. The Giants have won the pennant.
Yes.
I mean, that was.
Dan loves that one. That's a great one.
I mean, I mean, every time I hear that live, I get chills. I get chills.
Yep.
Yeah. Lon Simmons, Steve Young, though. Young, back to throw. Turns away. Gets away again. He does. He gets away again. And you could hear the Candlestick crowd just get louder and louder. Oh, that's one of my favorites.
That was an epic call.
Oh, I've got that call. I've got that
Mike
call.
Mike Ivy grand slam.
Mike Ivy, it's a grand slam. Mike Ivy, a grand slam. That was awesome. That was Lon.
That was Lon.
Eric, you got a favorite? Eric, you got a favorite one? Eric, do you have a favorite one? A call?
Now, hold on one second. I'm looking at the YouTube real quick. I'll be right there.
Oh, okay.
Check this out, Larry. This is
two things at once, bro. Come on.
My impersonation of Lon's call, Steve Young's run. I taped it myself. I did his, and then I watched it. Then I recorded it myself. Let's see.
Too bad we don't have the monster slam on here.
Yeah.
Back to throw. In trouble. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs. Gets away again. Goes to the 40. Gets away again to the 35. Cuts back at the 30. To the 20. The 15. The 10. He dives. Touchdown. 49ers.
I was trying to impersonate him. You can't do that voice. He's got such a unbelievable.
Let me tell you my Lon Simmons story. It's 1999. I fly into spring training, get there at 7:00 in the morning. I'm going to do a pregame show, the pregame Sports Insider show on KMBR with Chris Townsend. We're going to be on before Lon, and Lon's doing the spring training game, Giants Rockies. And I get to the stadium, and there's nobody there. I mean, nobody's at Scottsdale Stadium at all. Same stadium it is now. Just walk in, guard lets us in. There's one light on there's not a single person in the entire press box area. I see one light on. I go in there. It's pretty much, it's almost still dark because it's early morning. And Lon Simmons is in there. He's got a Rockies media guide, and he's highlighting it. And I said, Mr. Simmons, how you doing? I'm Larry Krueger. I'm doing the pregame on KMBR. Hey, Larry, come on in, talking. I go, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm on the call today, so I'm doing my prep. And this guy, Lon Simmons was taking a highlighter to a Colorado Rockies media guide, prepping for a spring training game at 7:00 in the morning. This guy was at this point was already a Hall of Fame announcer. He could have rolled in after the anthem and winged it, and nobody would have said a damn word. Instead, he's got a highlighter, and he's going through the media guide looking for anecdotes to include in the broadcast. I remember I saw that, and I'm like, you know what? This guy's the real deal, man. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, this is how you get to be Lon Simmons.
Yeah,
incredible,
icon.
Yeah, he was
Hey,
unbelievable.
Bill King,
hilarious too. Hilarious sense of humor.
Bill King with his famous Madden wants to know if it's real. The referee says it is. Now get your fat butt out of here.
Get your big butt out the field. He does.
Get your big butt out of here.
Get your big butt out of here. He does. My favorite part of that is he goes, he does.
He does, right?
Bill King was absolutely incredible. I don't know if I ever told you the story, Los. I'm at the A's game. A's. It's like 1:00 in the afternoon, and I'm talking to Ken Korak, and this is years and years ago. Yeah. And he goes, "Do you know Bill King?" And I'm like, "No, I've never talked to Bill King." Oh my God, I'm a huge Bill King fan. And I used to sit on my bed as a little kid and listen to Bill King do the Warriors. And so Bill King's doing the A's, of course, and he walks in. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, and Ken goes, "Bill, come over here. There's somebody I want you to meet." And I'm like, "Oh my God, here we go." And he goes, "Bill, this is Larry Krueger." And I'm like, "Mr. King, it's a pleasure." He's like, "Larry, I listen to you every night on the drive home." And I thought, oh, he's lying to me, right? Wow. There's no way he's listening to me. And then like 1 second later, he's like, "When you told that guy last night to, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "You actually listen?" He's like, "Oh, absolutely. Every night on the drive home." And I was just like, at that point, I could have floated home. I was like, wow, I got Bill King listening to my show.
You had arrived.
That was the moment. That was the moment where I was like, wow. I think I even went home and told my dad, I'm like, "Dad, I met Bill King today, and he told me he listened to my show, and then he quoted the show." I was like, oh my God. Bill King was such an incredible guy.
Yeah. And
even
though I'm a Giants fan, my favorite PA announcer of all time in the Bay Area is the A's announcer for so many years. That voice was
Roy Steele, the voice of God.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yes. Oh, I love his voice.
How
bad, third baseman.
No, Batty.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Oh, his voice was just. Oh,
it just reverberated.
Yeah.
I do. You remember Joe Arengo, who did the Giants? "Would you all be kind enough to rise?"
Man, was he before? When was he? What years?
He was before Jeff something or other. This is, we're talking in the 70s, 80s. Joe Arengo.
God, I'm so used to the Giants. I'm so used to Rennell as the Giants PA announcer. I'm trying to think
Rennell's
of the male
freaking great.
Before that.
Rennell is incredible too.
Awesome.
She is so good. It's and they had a lady, Sherry Davis, who did it. It's Spencer Stewart here, Sherry Davis. Sherry Davis was a nice lady, but I mean, Rennell has
She's
a
awesome.
tremendous pipes, great
Spot
sense
on.
of the moment.
Yes.
She's
Yep.
she's as good as there is, I think, right now.
Right.
I think she's
great.
Rennell is
and
unbelievable.
I'm about ready to play for you
Yeah.
guys something, the greatest of all time. The greatest.
Bob Shepard,
No, this is the greatest announcer
Derek
ever.
Jeter, second base, shortstop.
Here it is. Greatest announcer ever.
Oh, here it is.
Oh,
the Will Clark hit.
yeah.
Vinny Scully. He could tell a
That's
story.
Hank. That's Hank.
No, this is the TV version.
Clark is singled and tripled, fouled away, and the count 0-2.
My high
Oh, that's
school
the Vince
teacher,
Scully one. The Hank
he was
Greenwald.
playing in the
The Hank
class-
Greenwald is
This is the
classic.
game. This is the game winner.
Yeah, I wanted to
Yes,
do
he
the.
briefly won,
I'm
but
trying to
he
find
is
Hank.
center
I haven't been able to
stage
find
now.
it yet.
Oh no, this isn't the game winner. This is the game tire. This is the game leader. Take the lead.
Yeah, takes the lead. Yeah.
Take the lead 3-1.
This is the 89 game 5, right?
Yep, they're up 3-1.
Yep.
I love Candlestick, man.
And
that was just the place.
That's the top. This moment right here was a top 5 Candlestick being loud moment. Top 5.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Hitting 632 in the
632.
Giants fans have been waiting.
high foul down the line and out of play.
Just
Look at
missed
that.
it.
Will did have the most
Look at that.
incredible swing, man.
Inning, man, it's so smooth.
Remember, they're still in 9th inning.
Hey, that's
Remember,
62,000 there. That's a full
Dunstan
house.
and Girardi.
Place was there he is.
There he is, hum baby.
Superman has done it again.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Foul back.
And Mitch
Oh,
Williams brought
just
heat,
missed
man.
that.
He brought heat. This is
He
probably
was
mid
nasty.
90s.
Yeah, he did.
In every important series, there comes that
He kept challenging them with
important
fastballs. I haven't seen
where
a
it's
slider
difficult
yet.
to breathe, difficult to
Mano a
swallow.
mano.
Andre Dawson
This
had a
is that
disastrous
moment.
series.
Yeah, he did. Last.
Dedicated to the memory of Abe Bartlett Giamatti.
He could tell stories,
And
couldn't he,
if
Vin?
Oakland and the Giants play
Oh,
the
yeah,
World
Giamatti, I
Series,
forgot. Remember he
Amazing.
a
died?
ground ball back to
During the
third.
season,
Williams
wasn't it?
gets rid of it in a hurry to get it.
Matt
Now,
Williams.
as it looks like the Giants
What an
will play
underrated
Oakland
glove.
in the memory of
Great
Bartlett
gloves.
Giamatti. The 4 letters here in the San Francisco and Bay Area that mean so much to the people who live here. The Bay Area Rapid Transit, BART.
Wow. Did you hear how he just put that story together about Bart Giamatti and he put Bart together?
Dunstan.
Guy's amazing.
Back to the box.
I didn't even
Grounded into
think
a
about
double
that.
play. Single to left in the 7th inning.
Wow, that's
Curtis Wilkerson is on deck to hit for Girardi. A strike.
then he just talked about Bart Giamatti
So the
being
Cubs
the
are
late Bart
frustrated,
Giamatti and how
and
the
the
Bay
Giants
Area
are
was going to have a
The
World
Giants have
Series
reason to be happy,
and the 4
but the Cubs
important
really
letters in
do
the
not
Bay
have to
Area,
feel let down.
BART, Bay
They
Area
had
Rapid
a
Transit.
magnificent year, considering how they
Puts-
turned the tables on the experts. A fly ball to Kevin Mitchell and Brett Butler. It will be Mitchell.
1989. That was a good year for San Francisco sports. Great
From
year.
their second
My
World
first-
Series,
I actually,
By Lecky right there?
1962.
1989 had been, I was 28 years old. First time I'd ever seen the Giants make it to the World Series. I started crying, man. I was so excited. It was like, I can't believe we're going to the
Daddy,
World
that-
Series.
That's Big Daddy right there in the corner.
That's why they have cemeteries and
I was on 280 close to where Oracle is now on a double decker freeway when that quake hit. That was not good.
This
That-
was the
that
best
freeway
series.
was
That was the board. It's amazing how from the highs to the lows, this series and then that series for the Giants, it was
Yeah.
terrible.
Steve Bedrosian.
Do you guys remember what
I
the
don't think
Giants
Bedrosian
traded the
even-
Phillies to get Bedrosian?
Who was?
Dennis Cook,
That's right. the
Terry
lefty.
Mulholland, and Charlie Hayes.
Yeah, and the third baseman Hayes. Wow, that's right. 2 lefties. And
That's a great call. Terry Mulholland throws a no-hitter at the Giants. F you.
1-1 to Curtis Wilkerson.
Remember when Terry Mulholland threw his glove to first base
yes.
Oh, I
because the
love
ball
it.
got wedged
the
between the.
spontaneous of that moment. Most
Terry
guys would've
Mulholland had
panicked.
one of the
Just
greatest
threw the
pickoff moves
glove.
in the history of the game, by the way. Terry
Stanford went,
Mulholland.
yeah. Stanford
pick
went
anybody
down
up.
today. College
I
World
forget who the
Series.
announcer was when Mulholland did that, but he was like,
Oh, I
Mulholland
just
gets
saw
it. He's
Dave
like,
Dravecki
what?
there.
What?
That's Grace right there.
Rest in peace, some baby.
Listen to that crowd.
I didn't even pay attention. Is the team wearing a patch to Hum Baby yet?
Little Looper.
That's a good call. They should.
It should be.
The Curtis
They
Wilkerson.
should.
It's a flare into left field. A 2-out reprieve
Grace.
in the 9th inning.
Well, he was skinny there.
For the Cubs, they're 8 hits, but they have left 7 men on today.
Rick Russell.
Big
The Oakland
Daddy.
A's won yesterday.
When you
and
could
clinched with
when you could
only
do a
4
complete
hits
game in
against
under
Toronto.
90 pitches.
And the Giants
I was at a
declined to
game where
clinch
Big Daddy
under
pitched
80
against
with
the
only 4
Giants.
hits.
Against the Giants for the Pirates. It was a midweek day game, and it was over in, like, seriously, an hour and a half or whatever. It was some ridiculous short game.
You didn't need a 30-second clock to have a short game with him.
He just got it and threw it.
Got it and threw it. And it was a sinker every time. You knew what was coming. You couldn't barrel it up.
Don Zimmer. I always think of him and
That's
Pedro
Luis
Martinez.
Salazar sitting next to him. Remember Luis Salazar?
As they have done all year. Refused
Man,
to
I don't
go
remember them
quietly into
rallying
that
in
good
this.
night.
I didn't either. Yeah, now it's like coming back to me.
And the batter will be Jerome Walton.
John Dunston with the Cubs. Talk about a cannon for an arm.
Oh, he did.
For Chicago, 9 hits.
He had a
Everyone in the
gun.
starting lineup, with the exception of Andre Dawson, a base hit. And once again,
Look at that. No arm rest. It's just wide open.
shouldering all the pain. And the
Roger Craig
Yeah.
might have been might have been the best manager the Giants had. I know people will say Boch because they won all the World Series, but Roger Craig,
Jerome Walton.
if you lived through it, this guy would constantly call pitch outs when guys were stealing. It was amazing.
Line drive into center, base hit. Here comes
Damn.
Wilkerson to score.
Dang, 3 straight hits.
Are the Giants even going to win this?
It is 3-2 San Francisco.
Wow.
Hey, isn't that funny? That's so on point, Larry. You watch something that has happened in the past and you think, damn, this might change.
Oh my God,
You
that's
actually-
gonna
Are they going to get out of this?
Oh my God.
You actually think, oh shit, are they going to lose and blow this?
Lefferts and Garrelts in the pen.
God.
Didn't he bring in Garrelts?
Consecutive singles.
Trying to remember. Thought it was
No.
Garrelts.
The Giants 3 runs on 4 hits.
He looks like he's taking him out, doesn't he?
2 runs on 10 hits. What must be so frustrating for
No,
the
he
Cubs.
gets the final out.
During the
Grounder
regular
to
year,
second, I believe.
They
Robbie.
left the fewest number
left
of
him
men
in.
on base in the
Did,
National
did,
League.
did Garrelts
And they
close
have
at one time? He was a
squandered
starter
base
for a
hits.
while.
Yeah, he was a closer for a while.
Shore lead in this series.
He was a closer.
I was
Yeah,
at the
that's right,
Garrelts.
that's
I
right.
was at the Garrelts game where he went 8 2/3 no against the Reds.
Against Cincinnati. Who broke it up?
I think
Was it Rose?
either O'Neal, maybe O'Neal broke it up, or maybe yeah, it was O'Neal. I think.
Rally hat.
All O'Neal.
So all
Shit.
this with 2 out, nobody on.
Sandberg struck out, doubled in a run.
That's right. Sandberg
How
made the
great
last
was
out.
Sandberg, by the way. Phillies traded him to the Cubs for nothing.
Yeah.
It was so
That was a Dallas
surprising to
Green
see
special
Sandberg
right there.
sacrifice in the 8th inning. He
Has Sandberg made the Hall of Fame?
once all year.
I don't think so.
Breaking ball hit to Robbie Thompson, and that's it.
Wow. Try to pull a slider on the outside corner. Norm Sherry, pitching coach.
You know, I didn't realize it was such a nail biter right there.
Didn't Dravecki get re-hurt in this?
In the celebration.
Yeah,
He got-
I thought he did. Wow.
Well, you know, Dravecki's
Yes, he
greatest
did, he
game.
did.
Do you remember Game 2 of the Cardinal series in '87
Yes.
in St.
Yes.
Louis?
Yeah, 1-0.
He was awesome. He was awesome that day.
Yeah, then wasn't he pitching in Game 6 when Maldonado lost the ball in the lights?
Yep.
Was
I think
he?
he was.
I believe
I
so.
think he was. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that was
lost.
his turn.
Yeah.
To me, that
Krueger
was the
pitched
one
game-
mistake. No, yeah, Kruko pitched Game 5. No, yeah, and Joe Price came out of the pen, went 4 1/3 in Game 5. That was the last game the Giants won.
Yeah.
I was there that
right.
day.
I was there that game too. I was at 4 and 5.
I was sitting in the family pavilion,
Left field,
right field.
right.
They sold them
right,
that
Right
day.
field.
I was
Right field's
left,
in the right field seats up against the back wall there.
I was out in left field. Me and my brother Steve, we were out there.
That was a great day. That was Mitchell went yard. I think Uribe had a big triple, and they start chanting Uribe, Uribe.
I think Hackman went yard again too. Leonard flaps down.
That was a bitter one, man, because the Giants won one win away.
I know.
That was a magical year. That was the year the
And
Twins
after-
won it with Herbeck.
You know, it's another classic postseason memory here.
Is this 2000 against the Mets? Oh, there we go.
We have also been proud of this. And
God, who is this guy on the
technology in our
left?
Truck lineup, which is the all-new 2015.
That guy can't hold it
I
together.
think, is that the Colorado guy? The
It
Chevy
combines
Colorado?
being,
Is your internet not?
with,
Is it? It's buffering or something.
Technology and
Jesus,
stuff.
who was that?
Technology
He's
and
the spokesman for
stuff and-
Chevrolet. He was the
Is it-
spokesman for Chevrolet.
guy looks like he ate a
Dumping
Chevette.
it all over the place.
Oh man,
Oh,
man.
Oh,
Yeah, he
I
was,
was
the
watching the
spokesman
Niners.
for
I was watching the
Chevrolet, and he was
Niners.
supposed to give a-
Speaking of the '89 season, when the Niners won the Super Bowl, I saw Joe Montana, Super Bowl MVP. He won a 1990 Buick Regal. How fucking cheap is that? A Buick Regal is what you want? Look it up. I'm not kidding.
Unbelievable.
Jesus, NFL, that's the best you could do.
A beautiful
Oh,
Regal.
that guy, though,
Man, I bet Joe gave that. I bet Joe gave that away to charity.
He was supposed to be representing
90
Chevrolet. And he
Buick
couldn't
Regal.
even get a damn. He couldn't complete a sentence without stumbling over himself.
Well, that was him. It wasn't the actual your internet. That was him bubbling.
That was him bubbling.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, I thought it
That
was
was
your internet.
horrible.
Yeah.
Bumgarner's looking at him like, what in the hell? Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
I still think that Bumgarner performance might have been one of the greatest
Oh.
performances I've ever seen in the
Ever.
World Series.
No doubt.
Unbelievable.
Before,
No doubt.
my entire life. I mean, seriously, when you think about what he did that night on 2 days rest,
Yep, 2 days.
2 days rest, and when he
Put him
came
on his
out, I was like, "Uh-oh, he doesn't have it." But then he warmed up, and it was
back.
over.
He gave up a hit first at bat.
You think Bum is
Yep.
done, or do you think he's going to pitch this year for anybody?
I think I've
Maybe Texas
always
if
looked at
anybody.
I've always looked at his motion and thought this guy's gonna have a really, really long career. So I think there's more in that arm. To
I
be
think
honest.
Would it be
Right.
something if they signed him for the second half as a, just let him pitch in the minors, get himself ready to go, and then maybe he becomes a.
Farhan doesn't think like that. I don't.
Giants.
He won't do that.
But I mean, if
He
could
should.
could he help? I don't know. I mean, if he
tell
could
you
help
what,
him,
though, because remember, Bumgarner, he didn't quit because of an injury. He's healthy. He just needs to work on some mechanics, and maybe that's what he's doing. I think we're going to see him sometime here.
He's
before
got
the deadline.
He's got too smooth of a motion to be done this soon.
And he's
There's
never
too
had
much
an injury.
deception. There's too
35?
much deception.
Motorcycle.
Did I ever tell you my my
His
Hunter
fastball
Strickland
tough.
story? I talked to Hunter Strickland at FanFest one year, and I'm like, Hunter, what do you do? We're off mic. We're at a commercial, and I go, what do you do in spring training at night? There's not a whole lot to do in Arizona. And he's like, oh yeah, me and Bum, we love it. And so I'm like, well, what do you guys do? He goes, oh, we go hunt coyotes. And I said, what? He goes, you never hunted coyotes? And I go, Hunter, I grew up in the Sunset. I hunted Muni buses. I don't hunt anything. I go, my dad was a lawyer. We don't hunt. And then he's like, I go, tell me about it though. What do you guys do? Sounds fun. He's like, oh yeah, it's a blast, man. And so I'm like, tell me, what did he do? He's like, yeah, me and Bum, what you do is you get a hard hat with a light on it, and then you just get a couple
Go-
beers and you
go
camp out.
camouflage.
you camp out in the bush and you just wait until you hear something, and then you flash it, turn on your light, you start shooting.
My son's done that.
Thinking to myself, isn't this how Dick Cheney? I think where's Dick Cheney involved here? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
he shot his friend with some buckshot.
I'm like, seriously? I go, really? You guys are making millions of dollars a year. You're really doing that? He's like, oh, hell yeah, man. It's fun. We hunt coyotes. I mean, could you imagine sitting in a bush in the middle of some field in Arizona waiting for a coyote?
My son's done it with a friend of his years ago in his 20s. He was in his 20s, early 20s. You just stuff to do,
Hunt coyotes.
Yeah, I guess if
you're in Phoenix and Scottsdale, there's a few more things to do at night for sure.
I was going to say
where me and Danny live out in the suburbs, not so much.
Hey, Larry, you should have clarified the 4-legged kind or the 2-legged kind.
Yeah. Seriously. Hey, yeah. I said to him, hey man, when I'm in Arizona, I like to hit the Devil's Martini or whatever. There was a I forget, me and Murph went to some club called the Devil's Martini. It was pretty nice.
Hey, look, it's Mad Bum. Like, Hunter, I think I got one. I'm ready to shoot. Oh man!
Isn't there some story about when the team bus broke down and Bumgarner fixed it? You guys ever hear that?
I heard that.
That vaguely sounds familiar.
It's like Bum gets out of the
I forgot
out
who
of the
told
van.
that story, but it was
Will Martinez says, "I bet Krug has some great KMBR stories."
Oh yeah.
Oh man, we could go on and on and on.
No.
Oh yeah. Where's
Where's 95.7's studios on Broadway, Larry?
I was just there today. They're across the street from KMBR. They're at they're moving though, but they're on Broadway and Battery.
They're right across the street from KMBR.
Literally,
right across the street for now. I think 95.7 is moving
literally
towards
Radio Row.
Moving towards it's actually towards where where you go shopping. What's it called? Union Square. They're going down towards Union Square.
Oh, okay.
Radio
MF
Row.
says, Larry, was Gary the same guy off the air? Oh, hell yeah. What do you MF, what do you think? He was absolutely the same guy off the air. That's the one thing I'll say about all those guys. They're all the same on the air, off the air. What you see, what you hear is what you get.
So when you first started, you started with Townsend when you first started?
I did the Weekend Insiders with Townsend, and then I took over for Fitz doing the nighttime.
Okay. And Fitz moved to the afternoon, right?
No, Fitz just had a great agent, and he had it written into his deal that he didn't have to do 7 to 10, or he didn't have to do post-game Giants. All he did was 7 to 10. So if the Giants played at night, I was on after. If the Giants didn't play, it was a 7 to 10 show, then he would do the 7 to 10 show. So,
but he moved to the afternoons after a while, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
To the King and the Kid. Remember with Pete Franklin.
That's right.
When you were doing it full time, Larry, did you have a shift that you preferred, that you liked the most?
I love the 9 to noon with Gary. That was the best, 9 to noon. I mean, it was hard to get in there, because I lived in the East Bay and the bridge and the whole deal.
Easy to get home though.
But there's nothing like driving home at noon, knowing your day's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to get over that bridge by 2.
You get a buddy calling you, hey, you want to play golf? It's like, sure, name the day. It's like we'll play at 1:00. Where do you want to play?
Or you get off at noon and you head over to Golden Gate Fields for the 1:00 start on a Friday afternoon.
When I was in high school, we used to ditch SI and go to Bay Meadows.
Oh, Bay Meadows. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I used to run into
Meadows. Tom Rathman. I used to run into
Tom Rathman's a big horse guy. Yeah. Tommy used to love the horses.
Him and his dad. He'd be pushing his dad in a wheelchair, and I got him to talk to him. a lot. They
Yeah.
were big horse racing.
I don't know
guys.
if Lou's still in the chat, but Lou's a big horse guy.
Lou's dad owned horses, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you know that?
yeah. Lou's told me. He told
Oh,
me.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I'm when I get up there, we gotta do.
Lou's dad was a big time Giants fan.
Hit a Giants game, and then this summer, maybe I'll even go out to Pleasanton to see the races out there because Golden Gate Fields is shut down till September, I think, or late August. But
I used to love going to Golden Gate too.
yeah,
We had my buddy ran the bar at the top of the Stretch Club, and
the Turf Club.
the Turf Club, and
Yeah,
he would just get tipped out, just ridiculous, because every big winner goes to the Turf Club to celebrate, and then it's like, hey man, and what does every big winner want to do? Let me tell you about my big win, and then it's like they feel obligated to tip you a C note. This guy seriously would get. This guy would get like $500-600 in tips just from big winners who would be like, here's 100. I just won 3,500.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
when
a
I'm back
great
in the
gig.
Bay Area, I always visit Golden Gate Fields. A friend of mine is the owner there, Hat Trick Racing. So I sit in his owner's box and he gives me tips.
You ever been to? You been to any other tracks? Because I've been to a bunch. My buddy in high school was a huge race fan, so I've been to Pimlico, I've been to Laurel, I've been to Del Mar,
Hollywood.
I've been to Santa Anita, Holly Park, Hawthorne, all kinds of. I mean, the Big
SoCal,
Aqueduct,
yeah, great tricks. Yeah.
Gulf Stream.
Have you ever wanted to go to the Kentucky Derby? 1 year?
I would love to go. I'd love to go. I've never gone. I've never gone to the Derby.
That's on the list for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
The tracks down in Southern California are
Oh,
gorgeous.
Del Mar is awesome, where the surf meets the turf.
Yeah.
That is an incredible spot, Del Mar. Santa Anita is pretty nice too, even though it's inland. Have you ever been to Santa Anita?
Yeah, Santa Anita is beautiful.
Great Trevor Denman was on the call there from South Africa.
Oh, we're
racing.
This
is Trevor Denman. This is Trevor Denman from Santa Anita Park, and I just love that guy.
We're
Winning
talking
colors in a stranglehold.
Yeah,
We're
we're talking racetrack.
Hey Lou,
announcers,
check your text.
To me, the most skilled announcers are the guys who do the horse racing, because you have to know every horse's name.
Yeah,
and you never hear them go, and the 5 horse, never. They never say that. They always say the horse's name.
There was.
It's amazing.
And on the rail, Seattle Slew, it's like, they just sit there and they name the jocks, the horses, the distances, I mean, everything. It's just freaking amazing.
There was a PA announcer. I don't know if it was Bay Meadows or Golden Gate Fields, but he had an English accent, and he would always start at "and away they go." That was his little niche.
And away they go.
Yeah, and then
I loved Santa Anita because or the guy from Golden Gate would just be racing. Or I think it was wasn't that his thing? Racing.
Yeah.
If you in the chat have never been to a racetrack, go. It's a good time. It's fun. You don't even have to. I mean, you can just go there, drink, eat, just hang out with people. It's very cool.
Yeah.
If you go to a grade A track, if you go to like a big time track, if you go to the fair, I don't know about the fair. But
the track here in Arizona is
Turf Paradise.
Older. It's a little older. Well, it's free to get into the turf club, so that kind of tells.
Have you ever been to the dog racing there?
Here in
no, but I went to dog races in El Paso, across the border in Juarez, Mexico, and the dog races are fun.
Yeah,
big time fun.
What's
I've never been to
fun
one here yet.
The quarter horse racing from Los Alamitos.
Oh yeah,
Cal. It's like
Danny, they don't do the dogs here anymore, do they?
No, they don't do them anymore. They can't. No,
they took it off. Damn it! I love the dogs.
Yeah,
they do
chase
that first turn.
They chase the rabbit.
Yeah,
chase the imaginary rabbit.
They go around that first turn and they all fall down. They get up real quick.
I will say this, man. It is impressive to watch dogs run. I mean, it is impressive. They are fast, and it really looks like something.
Very fast.
I'll tell you what's pretty fun too is if you ever go down on the rail. One of the greatest one of the greatest days I ever had was the late Sam Spear was like, hey, why don't you come out to Golden Gate and I'll show you around. And I'm like, all right. So go out to Golden Gate, and he's like, you want to go into the tack room? And I didn't realize the tack room is the locker room for the jockeys, and they all share the same locker room. And imagine that. Imagine if you went to a football game and both teams shared one locker room. And then then in addition to that, the jockeys bet on the races, and they're encouraged to bet on the races. Wow. So you've got a room full of machismo 5 feet tall guys who are all kind of tough, and they're betting on it. I mean, the dynamic in that room is unfreaking believable. I'm interviewing Lafitte Pinkai. Remember Lafitte? They called him the Pirate. Jockey. One of the greatest jockeys of all time.
Him and Russell Bates.
So he's Sammy sets it up, and he's like, you're gonna try to keep it short because Lafitte's wife is here. Lafitte was like 5'3", and he just had this ridiculous, awesome mane of hair. It was just had the best hair of all time. Just this thick, dark hair. His wife was a Brazilian model, like 6'3". She was, one of the tallest, most beautiful Brazilian women I've ever seen. And she was 1.5 feet taller than him. Unbelievable. And he tells us the story about how he got on an airplane, and he asked for some peanuts, and the stewardess brought him some peanuts, and he took a peanut, broke it in half, and then broke it again in half, ate 1/4 of one peanut, and put the rest in his pocket because these guys purge, man. They, you can't eat too much.
How long has it been since you went to the track?
5-6 years, maybe more.
Wow. Yeah. I enjoy it.
I'll remember this. I'll never forget this. My buddy was a big horse racing fan, and I'm in Vegas for a De La Hoya fight. And I said to him, he goes, "Oh, you're going to Vegas?" He goes, "I may have some winners at some of these other tracks," because he was one of these guys that would hit the simulcast center and do the OTB stuff. And so I get this call, and in the hotel, and it's me and my brother. We're there for, I think, my brother's bachelor party, and I get this call, and he's like, "Dude, get down to the sports book right now and put everything you have on the 7-1 exacta from Gulfstream." So I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "It's a lock. 2 horses scratched. It was a 7-horse field. It's going to be 5 horses. And, I love the 7-1. So I go to my brother. I'm like, "Hey, my buddy Todd says we got a dump on the 7-1 exacta at Gulfstream. It starts in like 9 minutes." I go, "How much money do you have on you?" He's like,
"Did you box it or just?"
Well, wait a second. So I'll tell you. So my brother goes, he goes, "What do you got on you?" I go, "I got like $45 on me." He's like, "Oh, I got about 100. So I go, "Give it to me." I go, we'll put 145 on this." He's like, "We're going to bet it all on this?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I get down there. We run down to the window. I go 7-1 exacta Gulfstream 6 race, and put it down. And then the guy goes, "You want to box it?" I'm like, "No, 7." So I'm talking to my buddy. He goes, "No, don't box it. Don't box it." So box it means 7-1 or 1-7, right?
Either way.
Either way. Okay. So it's a 1.5 miles on the turf. It's 1.5 miles on the dirt. Mile and a half on the dirt. And so, they go around once, and so it's a kind of a long race. And he's like, "Let me just tell you, don't freak out, because these are surefire. These horses rate." He goes, they're closers. He goes, "They're going to be dead last. They're going to be dead last. They're going to come firing up on the back end, and the 7's going to look like he's going to win, or the 1's going to look like it's going to win, and then the 7's going to rampage." And I'm like, all right. So we put down, 145 down, and so my brother doesn't know anything about horse racing, and he's like, comes back, he's like, "So what are we watching here?" And I go, "It has to go 7-1." And he goes, "What do you mean 7-1?" I goes, "The 7 has to win, and the 1 has to finish second." He goes, "What if it's 1-7?" I go, "We lose." He goes, "Oh my God." So then we start, he's like, "Can't believe that we're betting that exactly." Right. And I go, it's an exacta, but it's going to pay off fat. And sure enough, the exacta was going to pay off like $72 or something on a $2 bet. It was really fat. And
you put 145 down.
We put 145 on it. And sure enough, we're dead freaking last. My brother is losing his S. He's like, "What? You're an idiot. Why we listen to your friend? Oh my God." He's like, "I can't believe this." He's like totally pissed. And it's like the 4-horse and a 3-horse and like a 2-horse all up front, and our 1 and 7 are way back. We're like 6, 7, 8 furlongs behind. He's like, "Oh my God, why'd I listen to you?" Sure enough, my buddy's on the phone as we're watching this, and he's like, the fractions are great. The fractions are great because he's looking for a pace. He's like, they're gonna fry up front. So sure enough, the 3 horses up front all fry themselves, and they're just totally cooked. We get to the back stretch. It's 1-7 with the 1 up, like I would say 6 lengths.
Oh my
6
goodness.
lengths on the 7. And I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna wind up losing this on a 1-7 instead of the 7-1. And they get to the top of the stretch, and it was like the 1 horse just started backing up. It was hilarious. Here comes the 7. The 7's got the most left. He's just eating up ground. I feel like I'm watching Secretariat in the 73 Belmont, and the thing's just eating ground. And it passes the 1 horse about midway through the stretch and won by 5.5 lengths. 7-1 came in. We cashed for huge money. It was like
Nice.
over $1,000. And my brother's like, oh, it's like,
Yeah.
he couldn't believe it. He's like, that's amazing. How did your buddy do that? And I'm like, oh man.
Good times.
Lou Marson says the pink eye peanut story is true. It is true.
Yeah. I don't know if
Lafitte.
Oh, okay.
He was quite the guy.
Have you guys, talking about racing, have you guys ever been to the Reno Air Races?
No.
No.
Oh, you've never been? Oh my gosh. I guess it's going to be ending soon, but talk about, I mean, before 2011 or even a little bit after, it wasn't too bad, but you should see what they do is they get these old World War II fighters for these. This is the unlimited class. There's a bunch of different classes, and they just modify them and they go ripping around pylons. It's like a 7-mile course, like 50 to 100 feet off the ground, going 500 miles an hour. I got a little bit of a link here that shows you what they do. It's incredible. If you never got a chance to see it, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. When you're talking about racing, it just triggered memories there, because I used to go, God, ever since my dad took me the first time, I was addicted. Once you hear it, it's like it's incredible. Absolutely. And I mean, the only way you can really see it is by showing you how it is. It's awesome. I'll just do a short clip here.
Now, what are they racing here? Is there planes?
Airplanes?
Or is that a bird?
I think it's a plane.
If it does,
Where is that in Reno?
they come.
I think your internet's
on
is
that.
not.
I mean, it's just absolutely incredible.
Your internet's not streaming. Hey, guess what time it is?
Yeah, my internet's all garbage. Yeah.
It's time. It's Chardal time. Larry, get ready for some fun. He's going to ask you your top 5.
Oh,
We give Chardal his 5 minutes of fame.
Be prepared, Larry.
Can we make it 2.5?
We'll see. We've got some special stuff for Chardal tonight.
He says he wants the link.
It's there, Chardal. There's the link.
We were having that incredible show with Ned Coletti. Chardal's like, I want in. Like,
I know.
I know.
No.
He gave you a super chat saying he wanted in.
I know, seriously.
Ned with the line of the night. If you start thinking like the fans are going to join them.
Yeah.
Oh,
you listen to the
I love
fans too
that.
much, you'll be sitting with them.
Love
You got your intros ready for Chardal, Eric?
Yeah, let's remember what we said earlier.
Dan, he's going to ask you the questions, even with Larry here. Watch. Watch.
Well, if
The three of us are not here.
We'll see what
The
happens.
Dan show.
We don't have our 1098 chat to get him in here. You got 10 seconds, Chardal? We deleted that one.
Yeah, we got rid of that one. I don't see him.
Here he is.
Oh,
There he is.
Here we go.
Are we ready?
Hey
Go
Ted,
ahead.
you know.
Here he is. Give him
You know the
a little music intro. Here he is, Chardal. Hey, Chardal, nothing like it. That should be the logo for Chardal. Chardal.
MF says top 5 items at Panda Express.
Oh, here we go.
I need some Hey Dan t-shirts. That's right. Chardal, you there with us?
Hey Dan, how you doing tonight?
Good. How you doing, Chardal?
What were your thoughts on this impressive Giants win?
My thoughts?
Your top 5 thoughts.
My top 5 thoughts. Yeah. Well, I thought it was amazing, Chardal. Were you here for the opening?
Hey Dan, what were your thoughts on the 3-run home run by Yaz?
I didn't like it.
I thought he Cadillac'd it. Shouldn't have stared. Should have hustled him more down the line.
Yeah. What were your thoughts, Chardal?
Hey Larry,
Yes, Chardal.
top 5 places to visit in San Francisco.
In the London Breed era,
Oh man, that's pretty good.
I don't think he knows who
you
London
must
Breed is.
specify. I was in the city today. I was like, my God, what a joke. There's so many people walking around just on all kinds of drugs and all kinds of seriously. I mean, there was a guy screaming outside the Safeway. I mean, it's just a mess right now. Just an absolute mess.
Sore subject for sure. Damn.
My top 5 in the city, though. Okay, let me go. Top 5. Top 5 places in the city. Well, the Marina Greens is pretty nice. You know, that's not bad. Where else? I'm a big China Beach guy, which is kind of right next to Baker's Beach. It's closer to the Golden Gate Bridge. Incredible spot.
Baker's was nude back in the day.
Well, China Beach is a smaller beach that you can access through Seacliff.
Yeah.
So if you're in Seacliff, you can go down through there. I would say St. Francis Woods, where Lou Marston used to live. That's a pretty nice little spot right there. That's Gary's stomping grounds as well. Love St. Francis Woods. Where else?
It's a good question, Sardal. Good question. How about the Grove, Larry?
No.
Back in the day?
Too many bad memories, man. Too many fights. Too many ugly moments there.
I know those SI guys like to hang out there. But
Right.
Good concept.
I would say, a Legion of Honor, though. We used to drink beers when I was a senior in high school, we used to go get beer and take it down to the Legion of Honor and sit on the golf course right there and jump the fence and just, go.
Isn't that by Lincoln Golf Course?
Yeah, it's right there, right on the Lincoln Golf Course.
Yeah.
Palace Legion of Honor.
Yep.
Not Palace Legion. I'm thinking of the Palace of Fine Arts, Legion of Honor. Where else? Where else is a great spot in the city? Some people like Mount Davidson. I haven't really gone up there. That's where they filmed Dirty Harry.
Twin Peaks is cool.
Twin Peaks, yeah, the top of Market Street. I had a buddy who lived on Grandview Street up on Market by Twin Peaks. The view there is spectacular. Spectacular.
I live by
Carlos.
the Cliff House.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Cliff House. Yeah, the Cliff House. We used to
The amusement
Playland at the beach.
yeah, that was before my time.
Yeah, it was before all of our time.
Hey Carlos, what are your top 5 greatest sports moments in history?
Bay Area
Bay Area.
or in general? Bay Area?
No, Bay Area. Bay Area.
Show's coming to a screaming halt.
Yes. Gosh.
Niners winning
Chardal,
the Super Bowl in 81.
The catch.
Niners winning the Super Bowl 81. Man, yeah, the catch has precluded that. The Giants finally breaking through in 2010. I was too young when the Warriors won their first one in 75, so breaking through in 15.
I wanted to hear that.
I love that
Dave.
Will Clark hit that we showed earlier. That was just a special moment. So yeah, I would say those off the top of my head.
The Pope was at Candlestick as well. Don't forget the Pope at Candlestick. That was a big moment.
Oh, as Catholic guys going to Holy Name and St. Gabriel's, how can we forget that?
My mother attended. She was very excited about the Pope being at Candlestick. No, but wait. Top 5 sports memories in San Francisco history.
I'm trying to think.
It's got to be the game one. It's got to be game 158 opening day, right? Come on, with
yeah, who was alive to see that though?
Well, no, yeah.
I'll tell you.
That's a good point.
I'll tell you what was a great memory.
Are you talking about our memories or just period?
Yeah, I'm a huge Warrior fan, obviously, as well as the Giants and Niners. When Sleepy Floyd dropped 27 or 25 and a quarter against the Lakers, I was at that game.
Sleepy Floyd is Superman.
Yeah, that's Papa.
Speaking of that, how about Clay's 37 against Sacramento?
I was there for that. I was there for that.
Goodness. I mean, that was unbelievable listening to Bob. I mean, Bob did. That was just like.
That was an amazing night. I've never been at a game that it was just an avalanche of joy. I mean, it was just like he made it again and again. And it was like he was never going to miss. And it was the most amazing thing. I mean, it was just absolutely one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life.
Championships are too easy. So, yeah, those are good ones.
Hey, Larry,
the Niners for Super Bowl is special to me.
Hey, Larry, who do you got the 49ers starting week 1 of the 2023 NFL season? Brock Purdy or Trey Lance?
There we go.
It's gotta be Brock Purdy, right?
If he's healthy, I would think it's Purdy.
Yeah.
He got the gong.
That's it?
That was dumb.
You
did Eric just execute Chardal?
Yeah, he got gonged.
That might have been one of the top 5 moments in Bay Area sports history right there.
You dropped him?
You dumped him. That was it. Wow. Eric has had enough.
He's in the green room.
After midnight, Eric's like, hey man, you better bring it. It's too late. It's too late for your weak sauce.
Oh man. How come did anybody hear the home run call tonight from Fleming? We got Krug. I mean Kipe. We got Kipe on the call on TV, but was anybody listening to it on the radio?
That was a no doubter, by the way.
Oh, it was.
No doubter.
Man,
I loved how he watched it too. That was classic. I like that.
Oh, he's got I love the way he throws that bat away too.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a no doubter.
Yeah, I was just like, just stay fair because it kind of it was probably about 15 feet fair down the line.
You know what's funny? All those moments we're talking about. None of them that we didn't even think of to mention. Any of those Bonds home runs from 73. I mean, we saw a guy hit 73 home runs. We're not mentioning it. Why? Because it was dirty. That's why. Because he was on juice. But otherwise, that
exciting.
Was it was incredible. But you know what I'm saying? We're talking, other things. We don't think about that. Is that part of it? Is that why?
So Chardal, we got a couple more sound effects for you. What you back in, Chardal?
Yeah, I'll bring him in.
Bring him in.
Later that same night.
Chardal, you in?
I'm in.
All right. So what's up? We got a few more questions before we. What's that background noise?
Are you at SFO waiting on a flight?
No, that was my Alexa talking for some reason. Shut up, Alexa.
Chardal, white courtesy telephone. Chardal, white courtesy telephone.
Hey, when's your birthday coming up, Chardal?
Hey, gentlemen, what were your thoughts on the 7-4 win for the San Francisco Giants?
That's a dumb question. We already covered that.
Who was your X factor for the Giants?
The X factor? The X factor was probably Doval. Right? I mean, Doval.
Yeah, I would
How
go
about
with that.
Doval against Manny Machado? When Machado
Yeah.
just kept fouling off 102, 101, 102,
Yeah,
101.
just like it was nothing. Like
And then he chased. He chased. That was I'll say this, man. We don't talk about Doval too much, but Doval sure has improved from the beginning of the year where the pitch clock bothered him
Yeah.
to now he looks comfy and cozy and just easy and breezy. I mean, he's impressive, man.
He is.
If you guys were going to give the All-Star nod to one Giant, who you giving it to?
Yeah, Doval.
Doval?
Yeah, I would.
Doval,
one, Webb two.
What about Tyro?
He's deserving.
What
too.
about Wade?
He's
Yeah,
deserving.
he is too.
But Doval's
Who
been
would have
just
thought
at his
Lamont Wade
position,
would be up there?
and he's just. I mean, Doval. I mean, he's leading the league in saves, right? So, I mean,
You know what I tripped out about Lamont Wade? I looked him up, and he does not look 6'1", but they have him listed at 6'1". He looks shorter than that. I was surprised when I saw his height.
you know who I'm
'Cause I'm
liking
just
too in the
used to-
bullpen? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I'm used to tall first baseman, and he looks like he's 5'10", but he's 6'1". That's what the
Luke Jackson.
the card says.
He's kind of been sneaky good. Every time he comes out, he's getting a lot of strikeouts. Even though he's only coming out for an inning, he's getting a lot of strikeouts, and I'm impressed because he's coming off of Tommy John's. I didn't really expect that.
How about the Giants pen, Eric,
In
with
general,
with Taylor How about the movement on Taylor Rogers' breaking ball? I mean, he literally could throw a pitch that looks like it's going to hit a left-handed hitter, and it will go clear across and land on the right hand. It land in the batter's box for a right-handed hitter. I mean, I don't know if I've seen a lefty who has more movement than Taylor Rogers. And between Taylor and Tyler and Doval and Jackson, the Giants' pen right now is just seriously underrated.
Right. And hey, Dan or Larry, I was saying maybe the Giants should pick up Aroldis Chapman just to extend that.
I agree with you. I would have signed him in the offseason.
Yeah.
I love Aroldis Chapman. Could you imagine if the Giants could go Aroldis Chapman in the 8th and Doval in the 9th?
Exactly.
And with what they've got right now, I think I would rather – I think if it was up to me, if Farhan called me and said, Krug, what do you think? I'm saying don't trade for a starter. Promote the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that third kid, Danny?
Reggie Crawford.
A third? No, he's really far away. No, I'm talking about don't they have another? Isn't the guy's name Lupus or what's his?
Oh, Roop.
Roop?
Landon Roop.
Yeah. So call up if you're going to go starter, go with those guys, but go trade for Chapman. I loved it when Sabes picked up Roberto Hernandez and they had Beck and Roberto Hernandez.
Yeah.
There's the double barrel closer is that's nice. I mean, could you imagine if this Giant team really kept it rolling, called up, Harrison and Wisenhunt, and somehow wound up with a guy like Chapman? Then you could really talk about. I hate to say it. I want to say it. I want to jinx it, but you could really talk about an extended playoff run if you could shut the door with Chapman and Doval.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Larry.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on the 3-run home run by Mike Yastrzemski that ended the game in the 10th inning?
My top 5 thoughts?
No, what were your
I'm
initial thoughts on the 3-run home run by Mike Yastrzemski, which ended the game in the 10th inning?
You know what my first thought was? That first pitch of the AB, which got called an automatic ball, was that pitch. So he got a look at that pitch, and it was called a ball, and it was right down the heart of the plate. It would have been a strike. It was an easy strike. So and I think Krug even might have mentioned
Yeah,
it.
he did. He goes, you
By
got
the
a chance
time-
to look at it.
Yeah, by the time that pitch came around, he had seen that pitch already. So, I think that was really interesting. The fact that, he put it exactly where he put the first pitch, and he just turned on it. The other thing is Yaz right now is feeling it, right? I mean, he's feeling it, and I don't know what's happened here, but there's something going on here. I mean, Crawford is some of the veteran guys. I get the sense, guys, and tell me what you guys think. I get the sense that some of these veteran guys have really gotten some juice out of the young guys. Kind of not just coming up, but coming up and really playing. And I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to watch. But the Giants, since they called up the first guy that got called up was Schmidt. Since that moment, they played like a different team.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think what happens is your veterans, all of a sudden, they can just be veterans when the young guys are playing, and they can just go out and have some fun instead of having to carry the team. They were stiff. They were slow.
Mm-hmm.
They were not very athletic at the start of the season. And it was like, oh, crap, we got the same team as 22, slow and non-athletic and just a year older. And, the only one that was producing kind of in April was Wade and Estrada. And Wade was getting on base. And Estrada, hey, you can't interrupt the host. That you could get ejected for that, Chardal. All right? I'm messing with you.
Will Martinez says, Larry, hey, Larry, what are your thoughts on Chardal's questions?
Where's that one?
Right there, 12:25 a.m.
What are your he's got another one. What are your top 5 bedtime stories of all time? Hey, Larry. Oh, gosh, we got all kinds of
Tough. Spoilers and
real quick, guys.
Hey, Larry.
Yes, Chardal. Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Hey, okay. Anyways,
what are my thoughts on?
Hey, Larry. What are your thoughts on the Oakland Athletics moving?
What are my thoughts?
Hold on one second, Chardal. Hold on one second. Hey, a question I want to ask you guys. I know it's kind of a if it isn't broke, don't fix it type of thing. But you guys like Peterson hitting in a 2-hole?
No.
I don't really. I'd kind of like to see Matos up a little higher just because of his speed and
ability to get on base.
And just let Jock kind of be the guy to drive him home. But
it's all these, it's so funny though, Eric. Everything's changed, right? It used to be like you let off your fast guy, and then it's like you lead off your best on base guy, and then some people believe in power in the 2-hole. Other guys believe in contact in the 2-hole. Sometimes you're putting guys in a role, in a spot in the lineup because you want to see more from them. Like, is it possible that Gabe put Jock in the 2-hole because he wants to see a little bit less swing and miss? He wants him to emphasize contact. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like I'd love to know the origin or at least the thinking behind what putting him there. He doesn't seem like a 2-hole guy, especially since he's packing on some extra LBs.
He's actually been running pretty well though this year.
I think Jock seems like a 6-hole hitter on a championship club.
Yeah.
Wouldn't a prototypical number 2 hitter be a switch hitter with some speed that put the ball in play and didn't strike out much? Wouldn't that be like a prototypical?
I think the prototypical hitter is a 2-hole hitter is a guy who's a contact hitter, uses the whole field and sees lots of pitches.
I think
that's
Marco Scutero.
Right.
That's
a great
one. What the your Rod Carews and those type of guys. Wade Boggs. I don't know what he used to hit. Was Boggs a 2-hitter?
Giants went after Rod Carew, lost out to the Angels.
That's right.
That was going to be Bob Lury's, big free agent signing was Rod Carew. Giants made a big play for Rod Carew.
Yeah.
He left Minnesota to go to California. What a hitter he was, man.
Yeah.
Robbie Thompson was a 2-hitter for a long time. He wasn't prototypical, but
I think the new 2-hitter is kind of like the reasoning behind it is
panic.
You get guys at the end of the lineup, down at the bottom, 8, 9, and then all of a sudden you've got we got this power hitter coming up like Judge, isn't he the 2-hitter now with the Yankees?
Yeah, I think he is the number 2.
I believe, guys, maybe you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the Hum Baby put the Boogie Bear, Kevin Mitchell, in the 2-hole in the 87 down the stretch?
I think so, yeah.
I think he did.
See, I think
Mitchell
there is
hit 2?
I think with the DH gone, that your 9th hitter is, can get on base, and it's like, oh no, you got power. Don't let anybody get on base because you got power coming up. Like the Dodgers, isn't Freddie Freeman the 2-hole? Mookie's 1, Freeman 2.
Yep.
A lot of times it's
What do you guys think of Mookie playing short?
he was amazing there yesterday.
How about that play where he threw to third?
Yeah,
and you got the lead runner. Yeah,
where he picked that ball. That was unbelievable.
I mean, I'd never seen him play short before ever.
I thought he was a second baseman.
He's played
And an
short,
outfielder.
but he's played right field, center field, second base, and now short. I mean, man, that guy, 8 games, he speared that ball. That was a bullet up the middle. He backhands it on one hop and then throws to third to get, I don't know, was that Matos he got at third? No, Tyro? Yeah, Estrada. So
I think Kevin Mitchell in his first game with the Giants hit out of the 2-hole. He hit 2 homers at Wrigley.
With a jersey that was too small.
Hum Baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Ned told us that story. Remember that? Were you there? Who was there for that? Were you there for that, Danny?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
When Ned said that, they wanted that the Giants, Stuffy Jennings or whatever, tried to get into the clubhouse and to get, Kevin Mitchell fitted for a jersey, and he needed somebody to let him in. And I guess Giants didn't want to, or the Cubs didn't want to let him in.
I don't think he had a name on the jersey. It was just a number, if I remember correctly.
I was pissed at that trade too, because you got to remember Chris Brown was an all-star third baseman.
Oh, he was.
And even though Chris Brown had some injury problems, Chris Brown was awesome, man. He was a tremendous hitter, and he was a really good player. I mean, when they made that trade, I was like, they traded Chris Brown, really?
That was a 7-player deal, wasn't it?
It was Chris Brown, Keith Comstock, Mark Davis,
who won the Cy Young with San Diego.
Yeah, who was great. He was kind of the key guy for them. Keith Comstock, Chris Brown, Mark Davis, Mark Grant,
who's an
and then the Giants got Lefferts, Trevecki, and Mitchell. Yeah, it was a 7-player trade.
It was a great trade for
July
both teams.
2nd, July 2nd, 1987.
It's a good deal for both teams, actually.
That was the greatest general manager year of all time.
Al
Rosen made that trade. A few weeks later, he picked up Don Robinson for Mackie Sasser.
Yes.
And then he traded Jeff Robinson for Big
Rick
Daddy.
Russell. Yep.
Then he added Hendu for Randy Kutcher.
That's right.
On September 1st. But because it was September 1st, he couldn't get it done by the deadline. Hendu couldn't play for the Giants in October.
That's right.
And then the Giants stupidly let Hendu go, and he went and had a whole nother career with the A's.
With the A's, yeah.
That's right.
And how great was Hendu?
And he comes back to beat him in 89. That's right. Dave
Henderson. Do you guys remember Hendu off Donnie Moore?
Yes. Oh,
Al Michaels on the call?
That ruined Donnie Moore.
Yeah.
And Donnie Moore never recovered.
Donnie Moore never recovered.
Hendu was a really underrated cog for the A's. He really was.
Yes, he was.
Hendu was really good.
Yeah.
And he was a number 2 hitter, I believe, behind Ricky, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
number
was
2 hitter with power.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think having I don't know, but it's kind of weird. But tonight they kind of Kepler had made these moves, brought in Slater to pinch hit, and then Slater was pulled. Wasn't he pulled for Sable?
Man, I lost track, man. He was doing so many roster moves.
He was bringing in. I got it.
Have you seen Slater's numbers this year against lefties?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Sable came up and pinch hit.
He's like Triz Speaker this year against lefties. I'm not even joking. The guy's hitting like 480 or 460 or something. It's
crazy.
It's like, what?
That's
you got to be kidding me.
Hey, yes, Sable was. You talk about the X factor tonight, Duvall. How about Sable? He let off. He comes in and pinch hits for Slater, who was pinch hitting for Conforto, and then then Melvin comes out and goes to the lefty, the kid that ended up losing the game, and he brings up Sable, and Sable works a walk to start the ninth inning.
Yeah, it's a great at bat. By the way, 484. That's what Slater's hitting against lefties. 484, 15 for 31.
Jeez.
How many at bats does he have against righties?
Against righties, he has 20 at bats. He's hitting 350.
Nice.
That's decent. That's
Dang.
decent.
His on base percentage
very
against lefties is 500. That's pretty freaking amazing.
Well, now that you mention it, Yaz actually hit a home run off a damn lefty. That's
Yes.
pretty awesome.
And Wade's hitting lefties a little better this
Yeah, he
year,
is
and
actually hitting
so
lefties
is
a little
so
better.
is Peterson. I mean, they've kind of been in a situation where they ran out of guys, so they just had to let those guys bat. But
That's the biggest surprise of the year, guys, to me, is that how well the Giants have done against lefties. I mean, it's
Remember the beginning of the season, they were atrocious.
oh, they had no Haniger, they had no Slater, they had no Schmidt. I mean, they looked naked against left-handed pitching, and I'm like, are they going to beat lefties this year at all? And then all of a sudden, they call up Haniger. I mean, they get Haniger and Slater healthy. They call up Schmidt, and man, they're rampaging.
JD started raking.
Tyro too, yeah.
you know, and Sable's actually the last couple games. It looks like he's improved his catching to the point where there's no room for Bart. You know,
No, Bart. I mean, that's the other thing. Marty, we were talking about, you know, what are they going to do with Bart? And he's like, oh, they got to keep Bart as a backup. But I don't know that you got to keep Bart as a backup. I, you know, clearly Bailey's better. You know, we were talking the other day about, you know, the Marlins looking for a hitter.
Yep.
Giants are like 28th in baseball in stolen bases. And Marlins looking for a catcher. I'd try to make a deal and see if you can get Jazz Chisholm. Could you imagine if you could add Jazz Chisholm to what the Giants have right now with that speed?
Where would he play at this point, though? Now that
I know he wouldn't play very much, but I mean, you know, maybe he plays. I mean, a little outfield, a little second.
Yeah, it's going to be
You
interesting.
give Crawford more run, more.
I almost think they go
more off time.
I almost think they look for a right-handed guy that's, you know, maybe got some pop that could come off the bench.
I'd rather get one of those Marlins arms.
Oh yeah, but Marlins are winning though. They keep winning.
I know.
Yeah,
I
I
know
don't think the
exactly.
Marlins
They're not
are
going to
gonna
trade
trade
anybody.
right now.
They're not going to trade. That's what stinks is that too many teams are winning. You're going to have to go after teams like Kansas City,
The White Sox,
maybe Colorado. You can pluck somebody, or the A's, the
St.
White
Louis.
Sox. St. Louis might be a team that's selling.
I mean, you might be able to get Chapman out of Kansas City. They're 16.5 back.
Oh, they're done. Yeah, I mean, I would go get Chapman before Cincinnati, you know, tries to bring him back home because, you know, if they get involved and, you know, they might, you know, I don't know.
Do the A's have any arms that are worth looking
Blackburn. They got Blackburn.
Sam Long.
Sam Long, I think, got a save the other day. He's like closing for him now.
That's my Sac State brother. Be nice.
I'm just saying, if you're going to
Big
get a
nasty
lefty, get after
curveball.
Chapman. If you're going to get a lefty, go after Chapman. Don't mess around.
Yeah, you could get somebody off the White Sox. Maybe you go after somebody like a Dylan Cease.
He's
Why
going
don't you get Giolito?
Giolito would be
easier to get. Yeah.
Giolito's a horse, though. I mean, if you made a trade like that for Giolito, I think I'd try to sign him long term. He's a California, you know, he's pitching for the White Sox. He's from Santa Monica, though. I mean, he's, you know,
right.
All that kind of stuff kind of matters too, because if you're talking about signing a guy long term, you know, a lot of times if a guy's, you know, if you're an East Coast guy or Florida guy, you might not want to play West Coast or sign West Coast. But this guy's from Santa Monica, so maybe they, you know.
Yeah, here's the issue. I was just looking at MLB trade rumors, and it's no surprise, but the LA is looking for starting pitching, so they're going to be in the hunt as well.
I mean, that's the other thing too. It's like the Giants don't necessarily they got their internal options.
Yes.
But they, you know, it would be nice to take one of those starting pitchers away from LA just to, you know, that's one less, you know, if you can get them, it's one less guy you got to move. I just don't want to trade anybody who's any good.
Right.
Really. Right. You know, that's the one thing. that it would be hard to trade anybody who's really good. But I mean, it's funny. You look at some of these teams like the White Sox; they got so many big time hitters. Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, Benintendi, Andrew Vaughn, and yet they're not doing very good.
No, they're not.
Just like the Padres, they have big names, but they're not doing much. Just, I don't know, chemistry or something's not right.
Somebody told me in spring training that the Padres were going to fall on their face.
Is this true? Giolito's wife goes to UC Davis vet school.
Wow.
It must be. I've seen you saying it.
That's insider information there.
That would be, hey.
As Gary would say, good knowledge.
That's good. Yeah.
Good knowledge.
Dansby Swanson signed with the Cubs because his wife played for the soccer team in Chicago.
Here's the problem, though. This is not a free agent. It's going to be it's the team who gives you the best haul. That's the issue.
Right. But,
I mean, what would the Giants have to trade that they don't need?
I mean, I've been saying.
What's their best trade bait? Luciano?
I wouldn't give up Luciano for Giolito, though.
If you don't want to trade a prospect and it has to be an everyday player on the roster, who would you say? Because I said Jock, but I'm getting a lot of pushback on.
Well, Jock makes a lot of sense because Jock, you can't re-sign Jock at the end of the year.
And he's proven in the postseason, so I think he would.
But Jock's not going to go to a team that's not a contender because why would they want Jock? I mean,
oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
if he's going to walk
prospects.
Yeah, they're going to want prospects. Someone who's going to want Jock is somebody who's in playoff contention.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So it's probably. I don't think they get rid of Jock because
I actually think the Giants' best trade bait would be if they feel good about Harrison and Wisenhunt, trade one of their veteran starters who's how people want veteran starters. I mean, if you felt like you could, if you could replace them, with young guys that you thought were better,
Yeah.
Joey Bart is definitely somebody.
Definitely Joey Bart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's too young to be done. He's only 25. So.
Oh, and there's no catching available.
Right.
Yeah. And they've got, for backup catching, if you need, you got Genovese down there at Sacramento, who's, ready to come up and catch.
Let me ask you guys this. Would you try to make it a sweet, of maybe a little bit bigger trade with Kansas City and see if you could get Chapman and Greinke?
Do you like Greinke?
How's he doing?
I mean, I don't know. Greinke sure knows how to add and subtract. I mean, I haven't studied him this year, but I've always kind of liked Greinke.
Yeah.
I like the kid from Detroit, Edwin Rodriguez, lefty.
Eduardo
Rodriguez. Yeah.
Former Red Sox.
Hey, Larry.
Yes, Chardall.
Do I look like a true Giants fan with the jersey, the hoodie, and the hat?
Oh my goodness.
I like the look.
Holy shit, Dan, you all right?
Dang. Crap.
Damn.
That sent me shockwaves. My I blew out my eardrums.
What about Stroman?
I thought we had a 6.0 here in the desert.
That was loud. You know what I think? You know what that deserves, Chardall? You know what that looked like? That Chardall, that was so bad. that was so bad. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to give it to you, Chardall. That made my stomach so upset. Man, you really messed up my stomach, Chardall.
God.
Goodbye. Jeez. That's it. Oh man. Oh, God.
Ted Mosby says that Rodriguez is 30 and he will not be a rental. Okay.
How did he
more
get back
knowledge
in
on
there?
Mr. Rodriguez.
Hey, Dan, I didn't mean to do that.
They also
man.
have Michael Lorenzen, you know. He might not be bad, the former Red.
Yeah.
Great athlete.
Yeah, you know, I think their pitching is they can weather the storm because you've got Manaea, you've got Junis, you've got Wynn, you've got Beck, guys that can eat up innings and then Stripling's going on he's already been rehabbing in Arizona in the rookie league. He's going to SAC this week. If you can just get by until Cobb comes back in a couple weeks, and then you'll have Wood, Cobb, DeSclafani, Webb. Who's the fifth one missing? Who's their fifth starter? I thought they had 5 starters without Manaea before the season and Stripling, didn't they? Maybe not.
Wood? You talking about Wood?
Yeah. You got Wood.
It's
Webb,
Cobb, DeSclafani, Wood, Stripling, and Manaea, right?
Yeah, so I guess that's 6. And then you still got Junis, who can pitch. I like Keaton Wynn. That guy's splitter. Here's what Patrick Bailey, I asked him in the spring training. He's telling me about his wicked splitter. And I said, how's it compare to Gosman's? He goes, it's better. And I'm like, seriously? And tonight, if you notice, Bailey missed two of the pitches. He whiffed on them. They weren't in the dirt. Bailey just missed because they had so much movement on the splitter. So a Gold Glove quality type catcher like Bailey missing 2 pitches, that tells me that Wynn's stuff is. And has he only given up like 1 run? He gave up a home run to Soto tonight, and then did he give up anything in St. Louis?
I asked Wynn I said, is your splitter nastier than Gosman? He's like, I don't know. I don't think so.
Bailey said it was, though. He's caught both. So that's interesting. I mean, I think you got some guys that can give you innings. And I think the plan is Harrison's going to be. Remember the other night when you had Farr on the radio last week, and you asked the question, or can't remember the question about who asked it about what are you looking for, and he says I look for 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm thinking October. Who are going to be my 4 starters?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I think it's Webb and Cobb, and I think Harrison's in there, and I don't know if it's going to be Wood or DeSclafani or Junis or Manaea, or if it's a trade. I think the fact that he said he's going to be aggressive, I think it's a starting, maybe a number 2 type starter or 1 to go along with Webb. Remember how the Dodgers got Scherzer and they had Urias and they had Buehler? Buehler that year in 21?
Yeah. Are they getting Buehler back, by the way?
Not likely. If he comes back, it would be September, and that's pushing it. I don't think I would.
Yeah, he had his surgery last August, so
I would not. I would not try if I'm that's his second one already. Why would you push it?
By the way, I'm getting a super chat on my side. He says it's from Calba. He says Taylor Rogers in the last month, 10 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 20 strikeouts. Had a rough first week, but he's been unhittable since.
Yeah, he hasn't given up a run since he threw his glove away.
Yeah.
That was in April to the Dodgers, like games like
his very beginning of
10, 11. Yeah, very early.
Hey guys, I gotta get going.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's only 1 a.m.
Hey Larry.
Yes, sure.
I think when you look at Trevor Bauer, I think he's the only player that doesn't learn his lesson. He got another allegation. He denied it. I'm like, what are you doing? You're a pro athlete. You're getting involved in these controversial issues. What are you doing with your career?
He's a little freaky.
He's
a pro athlete, but you can't be getting in these controversial matters, like getting into allegations and denying it. Like he's denied like 2 already and he got a 3rd one. I'm like, you're gonna get kicked out of the league if you keep doing that.
I think he already did for the most part.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're a pro athlete. Come on, Bauer. I mean, I never liked Barrow in the first place. I mean, I thought he was an absolute bum.
Well, that
he
whole
was an
thing was
absolute
just
idiot.
very, very ugly. Very ugly. I'm going to crash too, guys. It
Yeah,
is
me
10-1.
too. We're going to end it. Hey, everybody. Giants win another game, pull out another comeback, come from behind win. They were down 4-0 game one to the Dodgers. Come back, win 7-5. Down 4-0 tonight. Come back and win. Was it 7-? They win 7-4. 7-4. So the Giants.
Yeah, it was 4-4, and Yaz hit that 3-run home run, and they ended up winning the game 7-4.
Really?
Chardol, is that a
You're
baseball hat or is that a Daffy Duck?
It's a Giants. It's a Giants hat.
But is it a regular bit? Is it a regular bill? That looks like a enlarged bill, does it not?
I bought it off the street for $12.
Can you put the bill down so we can see the top of the bill?
Wow. Put it all the way down. That it's got to flap down, man.
You bought it off the street for $12.
Anyway, hey, thanks for joining us, Chardol. We're gonna let you go as we close this out. Have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow.
Hey Dan, thanks for having me on the NorCal Sports Network. I really love your show. Just
thanks,
let me
Chardol.
know. I'm not gonna be able to join the show tomorrow or the 22nd.
I thought you were going to give him like one of those, Glenn Close. I'm not going to be ignored, Dan. Just don't cook rabbits.
On that note,
Chardol cannot join tomorrow. Dang it.
Damn. All right, Chardol. Good seeing you, brother. Have a good night, man.
It's nice to see you, Larry. I love your show on the Krug Show. You do a great job with all your content.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Gloss D, you're a really great person. Love you coming on here. Sharing your insights about the Giants, all about various sports. I love it.
Appreciate that.
Dan, you're a great host as well. I mean, you all are really great. You all.
Who's the greatest of us between Dan and Los and me and Eric? Who's the greatest of the greats?
I'm gonna say Dan is gonna be number 1.
Okay.
Los number 2. Larry Krueger number 3.
Wow.
He's pulling you. He's messing with you, Larry.
I'm pulling your strings, man. Hey, you gotta know when I'm pulling your strings, man. Come on, you need to know when I'm joking, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty hard on you. I can't be above Larry.
Yeah, that's why you're number 2, and that's why Kruger's number 3, and Dan is number 1.
All right, Chardol.
Hey, have a good night, Chardol. Thanks for joining.
Must be a riveting guy.
Hey, Larry, how do you like my clean shaven look?
I think you ought to get that thing shaved, man. I mean, is that pen?
No,
no,
it's not pen.
Are you sure?
Where you get it?
I said he looked like a young Angel Pagan.
Hey, Larry, where are you pulling that from? Are you pulling that from your ass? Where are you pulling that from your ass?
Oh, look at that.
All right, Char, we're gonna let you go, man.
We're gonna have that is.
We're gonna have to. He is later. All right. Oh,
he is the ultimate run-on sentence. Back in high school.
All right, fellas.
All right,
good night.
Hey, have a good
Great
night,
stuff.
Larry.
We'll
Thanks
talk
for
soon.
Joining. We'll see you
later.
All right. Hey, Los. Los is gone too. We're gonna close it out. Thanks everybody for joining tonight. Giants win a unbelievable game.